him. This after Yasin Malik was found guilty in a terror funding case by the National Investigation Agency court that tried his 31-year-old case. There are, of course, multiple other cases and charges against Yasin Malik. In this particular case, he has been found guilty of mobilizing funds and channelizing them into terror activities in Kashmir over the years and decades. Significantly, Yasin Malik did not contest these charges. He pleaded guilty to all of these charges. He was convicted on the 19th of May. Today, the sentence has been announced. He will have to spend the rest of his life in jail. As we said, this is the terror funding case against him. There are many others. The big question we're asking is, what does this crucial Yasin Malik verdict mean for India's fight against terror?
As per the direction of the Honorable Court, I met Yasin Malik in jail twice before the sentencing, and after the sentencing I met him once. And as he was planning to plead guilty, I tried to convince him to contest the trial, but he has already made up his mind. So in view of that, whatever the best legal consequences, or what he was told about all the consequences which he was supposed to face once he plead guilty, and all the things we were told to him. And today now the matter has been decided and he is sentenced.
2 life imprisonments have been given, and besides that 10 years rigorous imprisonment in 10 offences besides monetary penalty, and all the punishments will run concurrently. 2 life सेंटेंसिंग है और 10 years की 5 पनिशमेंट है इनकी। जुर्माना 10 लाख रुपए है। तो सारी सजाएं कंकरेंट है, एक साथ चलेंगे। अब आगे किस तरह से फर्दर क्या होगा? अब ये जेल जाएंगे, सजा होगी और ये अपील लगाएंगे। 21 में अपील बनती है, हाई कोर्ट में लगाएंगे। हाई कोर्ट में आगे मामला चल सकता है। अपील अगर ये प्रेफर करेंगे तो लगाएंगे। सेंटेंसिंग के अगेंस्ट बनेगी, जजमेंट के अगेंस्ट नहीं।
जो भी जजेस ने अपनी बुद्धि के आधार पर, तथ्यों के आधार पर जो भी उसको सजा दी है, मैं उसको ऑनर करती हूँ, क्योंकि दे नो बेटर देन मी कि इस केस में कौन सी सजा देनी चाहिए। हो सकता है लाइफ इम्प्रिजनमेंट के दौरान ही उनको कई ऐसी चीजें और चाहिए हैं जो वो पता लगाते रहेंगे। मेरी बुद्धि तो इतनी बात कहती है।
All right, so a very, very critical verdict delivered today in a terror funding case by a special NI court here in the national capital, sentencing Yasin Malik to life in prison. He has in fact been handed 2 concurrent life sentences as well as multiple fines amounting to 10 lakh rupees. What does today's verdict really mean? Let's analyze that with our guest. Joining me on the show tonight, Rakesh Handu, Kashmiri activist, Major General Dhruv Katoch, Global and Strategic Affairs expert and director, India Foundation. We're also hoping to be joined in a moment by Sajid Yusuf Shah, CEO of the Real Kashmir News. All right, Rakesh Handu, let me start with you. You are somebody who has, as a Kashmiri Pandit, suffered. You've seen the suffering of Kashmiri Pandits. One of the many allegations against Yasin Malik, who has today been found guilty and sentenced to life in prison in a terror case. One of the many cases, as I said, against him is that he was responsible, amongst other things, for the mass exodus of Kashmiri Pandits in the 1990s. He faces, charges of being involved in the murder of several Indian Air Force officers, for the abduction of Rubaiya Saeed, so on and so forth. As a Kashmiri Pandit, somebody who has been fighting for justice for a long time, how do you see today's verdict? How significant do you think it is in India's fight against terror?
Madam, let me thank you for inviting me on this debate. First of all, I should congratulate CBI and NIA who have ultimately brought justice to Kashmiri Pandits after 32 years. Number one. Number two, there is other case also which we have been fighting, that is against the Bhuchar Beta Karate, who on records admitted that he has killed more than 20 Kashmiri Pandits, and the first victim which he has accepted on the media also, that was Satish Tiku. Let me tell you frankly, me and Ramesh Tiku are today happy that at least something is happening on ground. And in the meantime, we are very unhappy on the statement of Mr. Vivek Ranjan Agnihotri, though I congratulate him for raising our issues. Let me clarify, because he has released one video yesterday, and after that we were very restless and we were very, feeling pain. On one hand, he is trying to take claim that Yasin Malik has been convicted. The fact is, I should congratulate CBI and NIA that they have opened his file on terror funding case in 2019 when Kashmir Files was not released. And second thing, yesterday in that video, he is claiming that after Kashmir Files, Beta Karate's case has been opened on suo motu. The fact is that we have filed this case in 2006 when he was released. The family is fighting for that case for last 32 years, including Ramesh Tikku, his elder brother, and me as a friend of Satish Tikku. We have filed a case against Beta Karate on 7th January 2021 and through the lawyer Mr. Baines. And anyway, it is a good news, but ultimately we were expecting he should be hanged because I have lost my life. He has already lived his life for 32 years. What justice has been delivered to 32 years, Kashmiri Pandas, I am 55. He was 22 or 20 at the time of our exodus. He was the instrumental of killing Air Force officers. It is because I feel, I am telling from the core of my heart, it is just because of the political party in government today is trying to take credit that, Congress government was, hugging him, making him hero. Some media channels was making him icon. They must be celebrating, but I am not happy till the time these butchers are hanged.
Okay,
because I have lost my life.
You are saying that he, along with the others who are responsible for fomenting terror in Kashmir over the years and decades, should be sentenced to death. Also,
yes.
Why has it taken this long for this verdict to be delivered? It's taken more than 3 decades. Let's not lose sight of that. I think those are important points you make. Of course, it is for the courts to decide what sentence should be handed down. The NI court, in its wisdom, has decided to award the life sentence as opposed to what had been demanded by the prosecution. They had demanded the death sentence. Could the NI approach a higher court, challenging the quantum of punishment? We will have to wait and see. And these are the latest pictures of Yasin Malik being taken out of the NI court in the Patiala House complex in the national capital soon after the quantum of sentence was announced in the terror funding case in which he has been found guilty. Let me now go across to Dr. Nirmal Singh, former Deputy Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, who also joins us on the show. Dr. Singh, thank you very much. Sir, many would say that today's verdict is very critical. It is perhaps a big win for India's fight against terror and sets an important precedent for other similar cases. However, there are those like Rakesh Handuji on our panel who are asking, why did it take more than 3 decades for justice to be served in this one case? And then there are so many others that are still pending. What is your reaction today, sir?
Because it has 30 long to but I feel that it will.
Okay, I apologize to our viewers. We have a problem with Dr. Nirmal Singh's connection there. We'll reconnect with him in a moment. In the meantime, let me go across to Sajid Yusuf Shah. Sajid Yusuf Shah, as there are celebrations in Jammu today following this verdict, there have been massive protests, including stone pelting in Srinagar by supporters of and sympathizers of Yasin Malik. I guess that has really been the story of Jammu and Kashmir for a long time now. What do you think today's verdict really means for the valley?
See, they are actually not the supporters of Yasin Malik. They are a stooge of Pakistan on the behalf drama on the streets of Kashmir Valley right now. And it's very irony that those people that who are just demanding that Yasin Malik should be released are also, I think they are also equally responsible for the death of those Kashmiri Pandits as well as our officers who were martyred by this zealous Yasin Malik. When it comes to the verdict of this NIA court, I welcome and I salute and I hail NIA court that who opened the case of this so-called jihadi Yasin Malik and who got the life imprisonment and the fine of 10 lakh rupees. And when it comes to Kashmir Valley, I was just meeting many people in the Kashmir Valley. I got many calls from the many Kashmiris, and they are just celebrating because they feel that those people who are just minting money on the blood of Kashmiris are behind the bars. But what actually strikes, what actually is, what is the saddest part of our side, that there's this Yasin Malik was enjoying perks and plays from the government of India since long in the Congress regime, and these so-called youth icons of the Congress party and these journalists, they were inviting these terrorists Yasin Malik on their shows, and he was invited by the Prime Minister himself. And that is most saddest part from our side, that this Yasin Malik, who himself admit that he is a killer of Kashmiri Pandits, who was responsible for the genocide of Kashmiri Pandits, he was roaming freely in the open air.
I think, okay, you're making an important point. You are saying that people like Yasin Malik, separatists who have enjoyed, the full backing of Pakistan and of, terror forces across the border, also have been shielded by successive governments in New Delhi. Many have also asked, why did it take so long for this verdict to be delivered? And while you say, Mr. Shah, that those who are protesting in Srinagar are not supporters of Yasin Malik but stooges of Pakistan, let me also tell you that amongst those who have called this verdict disappointing is Mehbooba Mufti, the PDP chief, the former chief minister of Jammu and Kashmir, who was in an alliance with the BJP. But let me now get a word in from Dr. Nirmal Singh, former deputy chief minister of Jammu and Kashmir, who's back with us. I hope we have a better connection with him. Dr. Singh, your reaction, sir, to today's big verdict, Yasin Malik being sentenced to life in prison. Do you think this sets an important precedent for other terror cases?
It's a very welcome step. And I'll say that it will prove a turning point in fight against terrorism and Pakistani terrorism. This is just the beginning. We were hoping that Yasin Malik shall be given there's a death penalty, but the case may be of that nature. That's why Honorable Judge has imprisoned him, given him sentence of life imprisonment. But there are other cases also. There are other cases because he has murdered a number of people, whether it's Air Force officers, Kashmiri Pandits, other people. And moreover, he is responsible for the terrorism, that moment, that the culture of a gun, which ultimately led to the death of 42,000 people in Jammu and Kashmir. So ultimately, it's just the beginning. And I will definitely say that it has given a very strong message to the terrorist supporters, to the terrorists, that ultimately nobody is going to be spared. And it has come as a relief to the victims of the families. And ultimately the justice has been done, though partially, to the people who are victims of this terrorism.
Okay, you are saying that justice has been done, though there are many, Dr. Singh, who are questioning the long wait that, this case has involved more than 3 decades. It's taken for, a judgment to be delivered. And also, let's not forget that Yasin Malik actually pleaded guilty to all the charges in this terror case. He did not even contest the charges. Should it have taken us this long is a question that many will ask, though you're right, there are several other cases against him, including cases of murders of Indian Air Force officers, Kashmiri Pandits, the abduction of the then Home Minister of India's daughter, Rubaiya Saeed, burning down of schools in Kashmir, and many, many others. Let me get a word in now from Major General Dhruv Katoch. General Katoch, no doubt you will agree this is a step in the right direction, a welcome verdict. How much of an impact do you believe this is going to have going forward on India's fight against terror and on similar cases that are still pending, not only against Yasin Malik, but many others, including Bitta Karate?
In my view, and I've always maintained this for many, many years now, the most important deterrent against terrorism is an effective judicial system. And a punishment which is handed out quickly by the judiciary acts as a healing balm to the people who are the victims and as a very strong deterrent to the people who are the perpetrators. Now, in this particular case, it has taken 32 years, but I can assure you, had this case been decided within 2 years, we would not have had the terrorism which was existing, which has existed in the valley in that manner. So that is the impact which it could have had justice been delivered very, very quickly and in time. Now, looking ahead, I think what has happened today is a watershed, is going to be a game changer. I've got no doubts about that, because all future people who are thinking on going on the path of terrorism, and they are going to think twice now, because justice will catch up to them. But now I think we need to go much further down the road. When we are looking at what happened in 1990, there were a whole range of political leaders who I think are complicit, and they also need to be tried. Here I'm laying specific reference to the political leadership of Farooq Abdullah. I believe he should be tried on charges of genocide. And all the people who have supported him during that period, I think they also need to go on trial. So the political parties who at that time, they cannot absolve themselves of what has happened. It is very important to ensure that. Number two, there are a very large number of people who were complicit, the common Kashmiri Muslim, and they went around rampaging and killing. So it is not simply just the leaders. It is a question of the people down the file. Now, even some of them must be caught. We know who they are, and they must be punished. This is the message which must go around, that politically, if you support it, there will be a consequence. If as an individual you support it, there will be consequences.
Okay.
Let there be no doubts to anybody. There must be
have to be
consequences for terrorism.
And even if
And
it
that
takes
is the message
time,
which must go
justice
across.
will be done. That is the message that goes out. But certainly we need to see the other cases being expedited. It's taken 32 long years for the court to deliver this verdict. That too after Yasin Malik, mind you, pleaded guilty to all the charges. He did not fight or contest these charges. It should not take this long. In fact, General Katoch makes an important point. Had these verdicts been announced many years ago, had justice been delivered earlier, maybe the situation in Kashmir would have been different compared to what we have seen, the kind of bloodshed we've seen in the valley. Before I go back to my panel, let's play out some more reactions that have come in. We have a soundbite of Yusuf Tarigami, a Gupkar Alliance leader. The Gupkar Alliance today actually has expressed its disappointment over this verdict. We will also hear from Kavinder Gupta, BJP leader. Let's listen in.
In my view, it will not help the efforts which the government of India is claiming they are making. Now, unfortunately, such measures, harsh measures, are bound to create more uncertainty, more problems, and it's neither in the interest of the people here in Kashmir, nor in the overall interest of the country.
न्यायालय का जो फैसला है वो सर्वमान्य है और मानना भी चाहिए, लेकिन इस प्रकार के जो दरिंदों को जिन्होंने 30 साल में तबाही की है, इससे ज्यादा सख्त सजा की जरूरत थी। और खास करके बहुत से ऐसे केस पेंडिंग्स हैं। ये तो टेरर फंडिंग का मामला है, लेकिन जो अपहरण, हत्या, इस प्रकार के जो कई इन पर केस पेंडिंग है, उसमें मुझे उम्मीद है कि आने वाले समय में इससे भी सख्त सजा इनको सुनाई जाएगी।
यासीन मलिक को उनके गुनाहों की सजा, उनके पापों की सजा, उनके अपराधों की सजा और जो जघन्य अपराध उन्होंने किए उसकी सजा अदालत ने सुनाई है। इनको भगवान भी कभी माफ नहीं करेगा। जो पाप, जो हत्याएं, जो कत्ल इन लोगों ने जम्मू कश्मीर के अंदर किए।
All right, several political reactions coming in. The BJP has welcomed the verdict, whereas Gupkar Alliance, the PDP and National Conference leaders expressing their disappointment with this verdict. Let me go back to Dr. Nirmal Singh. Dr. Nirmal Singh, all the politics apart, and of course, it's ironical that the same Mehbooba Mufti, the PDP chief and the former Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, who was in an alliance with your party, today has expressed her disappointment over the verdict. But sir, what would you say to those who say that, it should not take 3 decades to deliver justice in a case as sensitive and important as a terror case, especially given the history of Kashmir, given the kind of terror we've seen in the valley over the years, obviously backed by forces across the border?
That was the reason that such forces, terrorists, separatists, and loose separatists, they got the space in Jammu and Kashmir, and the central government, as the governments in the state, they were so weak that they didn't have the guts to combat them. And ultimately that led to the killings of the thousands of people and bloodshed in Jammu and Kashmir. But there is a change in the situation. Now there is a strong government at the center and the very determined government at the center. They shall not be spared now. I was listening to the Gupkar leader, Tariq Ami Sahab. He is also a victim of this terrorism. But I don't know why he is speaking against the law. Whether murderers should be spared. On the one hand, these people, they talk about the Indian Constitution. They, yes, the दुहाई देते हैं कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन की जब कोई भी बात होती है, and now they are pleading for the against this the law. Ultimately, law has to take its own course. Only then the state survives. Only then the general masses, they get the justice. A murder can't be spared.
Dr. Singh, would you agree, sir, that it's taken 31 years for the verdict to be delivered in this one case against Yasin Malik? There are many more against this man. As we've mentioned, the murders of Air Force officers, the abduction of Rubaiya Saeed, the exodus and killings of many Kashmiri Pandits, so on and so forth. Will we now see other cases against Yasin Malik, Bitta Karate and other terror accused expedited? Don't you think, sir, that is the need of the hour? As Mr. Handu there mentioned, Kashmiri Pandits, for example, have waited for more than 3 decades for justice.
This is the beginning. And all these people, they are behind the bars. We were shocked to see Bitta Karate roaming about and claiming on national TV and other media that he has killed a number of Kashmiri Pandits.
Yes, he said it on camera.
Yes, yes. And these people, our former chief ministers, belonging to PDP, and whether it's Mahbooba Mufti and Farooq Abdullah, they are supporting them. Dr. Farooq Abdullah was patting this Yasin Malik. He was meeting in 1974. He was with that Makbul Bhatt and Manullah Khan in Mirpur, meeting them.
I take your point, sir, but you know, I have to remind you that the same Mehbooba Mufti ran a coalition government in an alliance with with the BJP in Jammu and Kashmir for 3 years, and the same Farooq Abdullah and his son have been part of union governments led by the BJP. I think we can't lose sight of that, but I take your point.
That can't relieve these people.
Okay, I'm not saying that it is
the anti-Indian stance they are
I
taking.
take your point, sir, but these are just some facts that I needed to put out.
See, that's there. We are a democracy, and when these people were elected by the people, so definitely we gave chance to these people to reform themselves.
Well, obviously, everybody believed the PDP-BJP alliance was always doomed.
Old agenda.
Okay. Everybody always believed the PDP-BJP alliance was doomed from the very beginning, given that there was really nothing in common between the two parties in terms of ideology. Rakesh Handu, Dr. Nirmal Singh says this is just the beginning. Justice has been done in this case. This sets an important precedent for other cases. Does this inspire confidence in someone like you that even if it's taken more than 3 decades, maybe the wheels of justice have finally begun to move, and that you will probably see the likes of Bitta Karate and others also, especially those who are responsible for the killings of innocent Kashmiri Pandits, being brought to justice as well?
Madam, let me tell you, I am a little bit, emotional right now. And after watching the statement of ex-Deputy CM and the BJP president, shall I ask them one question? Why Kashmiri Pandits in PM package employees on roads today? Do they have any answers? Lieutenant Governor went to Rahul Bhatt's family yesterday. Lieutenant Governor, today we cannot blame Congress. Today, BJP government is in power for last 8 years. And when you talk about 32 years, you tell me how many years BJP was leading this country. Be it Mr. Vajpayee, be it Mr. L.K. Advani, they just want, because he was made icon by Congress government. This is a political rivalry they are celebrating today. You tell me the same government did not provide security to our advocate at he had to return back from Srinagar airport. And therefore yesterday he had to appear before the court, which he refused.
And the brutal killing of Rahul Bhatt The brutal killing of Rahul Bhatt, the protests we've seen by Kashmiri pundits for weeks now, they are pleading to be transferred out of there, but the government is not paying heed. Before I go back to Major General Dhruv Katoch, Dr. Nirmal Singh, it is only fair I give you a chance to respond to what Rakesh Handu is saying. He is saying don't now sit here and take all the credit for what's happened today in the Yaseen Malik case, because your party has been in power for the last 8 years. You've done nothing, he says, for the return or rehabilitation of Kashmiri pundits. Look what happened to Rahul Bhatt. There are protests happening every day. You are not paying attention, he says.
I'm sorry to listen to Handu, Mr. Hain, but because he's equating everybody, though our government would have committed some mistakes, or
Sir, he's saying you've paid lip service, you've not actually done anything for Kashmiri pundits.
Dealt with this, with the situation, that was not acceptable. We have just agreed with it. But he is equating the present government, which has punished the Yaseen Malik, and he is equating with that Congress and other thing,
but
politicizing the issue.
Sir, you are accusing him of politicizing the issue, but let me remind you, he lost a loved one,
sir. We are fighting proxy war. We are fighting proxy war. So these people
but Dr. Nirmal Singh,
he claims that he is a victim. He must come and support the government. If there is some mistake, definitely he can criticize it.
Okay,
but
Dr. Nirmal Singh, to be fair to Mr. Handu, you're accusing him of politicizing the issue. Sir, he lost a loved one. He lost a loved one who was also a Kashmiri pandit like him. So I don't think it is fair to level accusations of politicization against somebody who lost a loved one.
I have lost my real brother-in-law, who is not victim
but
in Jammu
sir,
Kashmir.
in a democracy, we can ask questions of our government, right? He has the right to ask questions, sir. In a democracy, we have the right to ask questions, sir. He is asking questions about what are you doing for Kashmiri pundits now.
Especially Jammu and Kashmir. He should not equate everybody.
Okay.
He's putting Narendra Bhai Modi's government and Dr. Manmohan Singh government.
No, I am not blaming Narendra Modi's government.
Okay.
It is BJP Jammu and Kashmir which has failed.
Okay, point taken, gentlemen.
I salute Narendra Modi. Okay. You are here because of Narendra Modi. Don't try to club it with Narendra Modi. It is the BJP.
You are equating everybody. Very sorry. I'm very sorry.
Okay, gentlemen. Let's come back to the subject we are discussing. Okay, Mr. Handu, I completely understand your sentiments, sir. This is a very, very sensitive issue for all of you, all Kashmiri pundits. I understand that. But, you know, you have Dr. Nirmal Singh here saying don't equate the BJP with the Congress. Rakesh Handu is saying what has the BJP done for the Kashmiri pundits. Let me go back to Major General Dhruv Katoch. I'll give him the last word as we wrap up this discussion. Sir, going back to Yaseen Malik and the crucial verdict that has been delivered today, all the unfortunate politicization aside, I will go back to the fundamental question that I raised earlier, sir. Even though it's taken 3 decades and it should not have, but going ahead, sir, do you think this sets an important precedent for other cases? Do you think that we will probably see other cases against Yaseen Malik, Bitta Karate and others being expedited? And what impact do you think this is likely to have on the ground in Kashmir? Because in Srinagar, we've already seen major protests today, including stone pelting.
Right. Now, the first thing which I want to say on this is that as far as any person who commits a terror act is concerned, there will always be fear on his mind that even if it takes 10 years or 20 years or 30 years, at some point of time, justice may catch up with him or her. So that person will never, ever sleep in peace again. Number 2, I think the fight which has been taken up by the Kashmiri Hindus, and I'm totally, totally appreciative and sympathize with the, people like Mr. Handu who have suffered through these past 3 to 4 decades. It is not just 3 decades. It started much before that. They have been suffering for a very long time and in silence. And all that they sought was justice. Now, okay, it has been delayed, but I'm glad for the first time justice has been seen to be done in one case. We need to get to the root of it. It is not simply the puppeteers, who were being controlled by Pakistan. It is also the politicians within India. And I think those politicians, once we get clear and we can actually book them for abetment, especially,
All right.
I'm saying this with a great deal of seriousness.
Point taken, sir. Point taken. This is just the first case. There are so many others that have been pending for over 3 decades now. Now we need to see the wheels of justice moving much faster. We need to see justice being done in those other cases as well, because there are scores and scores of people who have been victims of terrorism in Kashmir. All right, but today's verdict certainly is an important step in that direction, and perhaps an important win also for India's fight against terror. On that note, I'd like to thank all my guests for joining me on the show. On that note, let's take a quick break here. There's more on the other side. Stay with us.